Hi everyone, I'm here today with my client John, who's finished with my program probably about 6 weeks ago. And I'm really excited for him to share his experience with us. Thank you so much for being here, John. How are you?
I'm doing well, doing well.
Awesome. That's so cool to catch up with you after 6 weeks. It's been amazing to hear everything that has been going on in your life. But just tell us a little bit about what you do and where you were at, before you joined the program.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was kind of in a place where I needed to make some changes, but I wasn't really sure how to go about doing that. And some of the suggestions that you made, about yoga and meditation and going to bed earlier and cutting back my alcohol consumption, all of those changes that were admittedly a little tough in the beginning, but I made them slowly and I kind of stuck with it. They had a profound long-term effect. And I still do all of those things kind of on a daily basis. So yeah.
That's amazing. I'm so proud of you. Still doing that after, finishing the program, and you're actually doing even more. Like, I think it's so amazing that you're sticking to everything, and that the way that you're feeling, I see it is just amazing, amazing transformation. What would you say was like the biggest, like when you say, like I needed to make some changes, but I didn't know how to go about it. So now let's face it, everybody knows what they need to be doing. Like, what was different, about joining the program and being able to implement those changes?
Um, I think having like accountability and then support and then knowing like exactly what to do and when. I
Mm,
think that was a big thing for me.
hmm.
Um, and then specifically like to diet, like what to eat, when, and then like how much. Those were the things that I kind of needed to know or needed some guidance with.
Amazing. And before that, like, had you tried changing things like that, like your diet and, all of those habits? Had you tried anything before?
I think I've tried them individually, but I never was really able to stick with it for a long period of time consistently. Um, but and never making all of those changes all at once.
Awesome. And what would you say was the thing that the program helped you with the most?
Um, I, I I don't know if there's like any one specific thing that I could like pinpoint, but I think all of the small changes kind of added up and it had like a kind of a compounding effect for me.
Awesome. And what would you say is like the biggest difference between, the old John before joining the program and now? How you feel now, 6 weeks after finishing the program?
Um, I I think the overall general direction of where my life is headed now versus where it was back then.
Wow, amazing. And if you were to tell anyone that, perhaps on the fence to joining the program, what would you say to that person?
Um, if you were anything like me, I would say that yes, it is a bit of a risk and it is a little bit of a financial obligation, but that it paid off many times over, I guess, is what
Oh,
I
that,
would say.
yeah. So when you say if you're any like me, what would that mean to people that are listening?
So, so I guess like I had been wanting to make like some pretty significant changes in my life, and I kind of had been on the fence for a while. Like I knew I needed to make some changes, but
Mm,
I never really quite got around to it. Um, but after working with you and kind of cutting through some of the bullshit that I kind of put in place for myself, I was kind of able to do that.
so when you talk about, like, this stuff, like I wanted to make the changes, is I get a lot of people telling me like, oh yeah, you're just going to tell me to change my diet or exercise, whatever. I know how to do that. I can do that. They even tell me like, I'm going to start tomorrow. What stopped you from doing it on your own?
I think the accountability was a big deal. And then also like hearing like your personal experience and what you've kind of accomplished and what you've kind of figured out was also pretty motivating, in addition to all of the other testimonials that I kind of saw and read online and listened to, kind of like what I'm doing right now. Was also pretty that was also helpful in making the decision that I made.
Awesome.
Which I totally do not regret.
Amazing. And what it made all the changes stick? I mean, for me, it's the biggest fulfillment when I meet my clients after 6 weeks, after months, they have finished the program and they say, I'm still doing everything that we worked together. What do you think was the difference between what you had tried before and, like starting and stopping? What do you think was the biggest difference?
I think the biggest difference for me was, again, kind of like the accountability, but then also having like a guide and like a pathway and a plan preset, something that I could like print out and view, like, okay, this is what I need to do, and then I can do it step by step by step. That was really helpful for me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your experience. I'm really proud of you. You're doing like beyond amazing. Like after 6 weeks, when I'm catching up with you now, it's just awesome. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, Angelica.
Take